Hello, grade 12s, how are you? Mr. Newlove is here again. Today I want us to look at paper 2. If you have not subscribed the channel, I want you to subscribe. Okay, now these are past questions, so let's get on to business. Okay, on a certain day, a tour operator sent 11 tour buses to 11 different destinations. The table below shows the number of passengers on each bus. So this is the table, the number of passengers in each bus. So bus 1, 8, 10, 12, like that. Okay, so the first question says, calculate the mean number of passengers traveling in a tour bus. So to calculate the mean, there are two ways. You can add all of them and divide it by the total number of buses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so let's do it using our calculator.
To destroy Pharaoh, he sent swarm in Moses' time. To destroy Pharaoh, he sent.
Okay, so my calculator, let me bring it here.
If God say he go do one for you, he go do one for you.
I'm going to show you both ways. This is the first way. You add all of them. So we have our 8 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16 plus 19 plus 20 plus 21 plus 24 plus 25 plus 26. It gives us this. Let me check. We have 8 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16 plus 19 plus 20 plus 21 plus 24 plus 25 plus 26. 189. So 189 divided by total number of buses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if we divide 189, it's gonna give us 17,18. Let's divide and see. This one is not a problem. You know how to divide. Let me clear my calculator. So 189 divided by 11. So this gives us 17,1818. Another way of doing this, which I like you to use that one, because the follow-up question, that one is going to help you to do the follow-up question. Sometimes if they tell you to find a standard deviation. Okay, so here you go to this side, setup. If you are using this calculator like this, Casio, then you move to start. Then you move to variant 1, this one, VAR. variance is what? 1. I'm going to input this data. So first I have my 8 equal 8 equal 10 equal 12 equal 16 equal 19 equal 20 equal 21 equal 24 equal 25 equal 26 equal. When you are done, press the AC, then you move to shift, then start. Remember the yellow button, this one control, because of this color it control the yellow buttons. So start. What do I want? I want variance, which is 4. I want mean. This is the symbol for mean. So mean is what? 2, which is equal to 17,1818. So use this method. It's nice because there is a follow-up question somewhere which they are going to tell you to find a standard deviation. So now I have the data on my calculator. It's still there. Okay, let's move on to the next question, which says it says we should write down the 5 normal summary of the data. But before that, let me split this into 2. We are done with the first one. Write down the 5 normal summary of the data. So our 5 normal summary. Our 5 normal summary, we need the minimum, maximum, Q1, Q2, Q3. How are we going to find them? Okay, so this is the data that was given to us. The first thing we need to do is to find Q2, which is the median. So median is the number in the middle. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the middle one. So our Q2 is 19. Alright. Then from here we find Q1. You divide the half at the left hand side also into 2. You find the middle number at the left hand side. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2. So this becomes Q1. Then you divide the numbers at the right hand side also into 2. So you count 1, 2, 1, 2. This is the middle one. Okay. So here our Q1, Q2, Q3, we are going to have it as our minimum 8, which is this one, our maximum 26, which is this one, and our Q1 is what? 10, Q2 is 19, Q3 is 24. Okay, then our next question says, so this becomes our 5 normal summary because the question is asking for write down the 5 normal summary of the data. So our 5 normal summary is going to be 8, which is the minimum, 10, which is Q1. Alright, this is Q1, 19, which is Q2, 24, which is Q3, then 26, which is the maximum. We are done with the 5 normal summary. Our next question says draw a box and a whisker diagram for the data. Okay, so to draw the box and a whisker diagram, we need Q1, Q2, Q3, And okay, the next question says draw the box and a whisker diagram. To draw the box and a whisker diagram, we need Q1, Q2, Q3, and we need the minimum Q1, Q2, Q3, and the maximum. They are how many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why we call it 5 normal summary. So our minimum is what? 8 here. First you draw your line to guide you. You label it from, you use your discretion. You can label it from 0. This one we decided to label it from 6, 10, 14, like that, but the interval must be the same. Alright, so you see that the interval here is 4, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22, 26. You can also use your own discretion. You can make the interval 5, interval 4, etc., depending on the question. Alright, okay, so here our minimum number is 8, our Q1 is 10, our Q2 is 19, our Q3 is 24.
He will do it for you.
Then our maximum is 26. So you draw the line to it. Q1, from Q1 to Q3, it must be a box. Alright, so Q1, Q2, Q3 must be in the box. Then you join the line from the minimum to the box, then from the box to the maximum. So this is our box and a whisker diagram. Okay, let's look at the next question. Refer to the box and a whisker diagram and comment on the skewness of the data. Comment on the skewness of the data. Okay, to comment on the skewness of the data, if you check this box and the whisker diagram, you see that the box here is bigger on the left than on the right. Alright, so we say it's skewed to the left, because anytime you are considering the skewness, look at the box. If it is bigger on the left than the right, it means it's skewed to the left. In other words, it's negatively skewed. If it is bigger on the right, it means it's skewed to the right, and that is positively skewed. Okay, so this one is bigger on the left, so it's skewed to the left, or it's negatively skewed. Okay, let's look at this. Calculate the standard deviation for this data. Calculate the standard deviation for this data. This is where we need a calculator. Remember, this calculator work, you don't have to do any calculation here. We already have our information in the calculator. You don't have to press it again. Alright, so let's see how we are going to get a standard deviation. Press the AC, go to Shift, go to Start, go to Variant. So our variant is what? 4. Our standard deviation is this symbol. So the standard deviation is what? 3. Equal. So this gives us what? 6,4641. Just write 2 decimal places, fine, unless they tell you to write it more than 2 decimal places. So this is going to be 6,46. Okay, so you see the reason why it's good to use this method, the one that you put it in the calculator instead of dividing it. So here it's good you use this method because it will help you to calculate the standard deviation. You don't have to put in the data again. It's a waste of time. Okay, now our next question. A tour is regarded as a popular if the number of passengers on a tour bus is 1 standard deviation above the mean. How many destinations were popular on this particular day? Okay, so here a tour is regarded as a popular if the number of passengers on a tour bus is 1 standard deviation above the mean. 1 standard deviation above the mean, so it means it's going to be the mean plus the standard deviation. Okay, when you say above the mean, is the mean plus standard deviation. When you say below the mean, is the mean minus the standard deviation. So this one they are saying above the mean, so is the mean plus the standard deviation. Where is the mean? We found the mean here to be 17,8. all right, so this one let me write, because they said it's above the mean, is mean plus standard deviation.
You dey do am for me all day, all night.
Mean plus standard deviation. So this one is going to help us to find the solution. Okay, so here when we add the mean to the standard deviation, well, when we add the mean and the standard deviation, we are going to get 23,64, and we need the number of people, because how many destinations were popular on this day, so we need the number of destinations that are popular. How are you going to calculate it? Go to the data. Where is our data? This is our data. Now this is 23,64, and we want the one that is above the mean. So the numbers that are more than 23,64, 21 is less, we can't take this one, but 24 is more, so we can't take this. 25 is more, we can take this. 26 is more, we can take this. So it's how many? 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 destinations. All right. Okay. Now our next question. Our next question is this one. That is your classwork. So you are going to do this one for me. Copy this. Continuation like that. You pause the video and copy this ones. Calculate the mean of the passenger. You copy this. Write down the 5 number summary similar to that way. Draw the box and a whisker diagram. Refer to the box and a whisker diagram. Comment on the skewness. Calculate the standard deviation above standard deviation for the data. Then this one. All right, so this is your classwork. You do that for me. Let's move on to example 2. Okay, this one we have a box and a whisker diagram below, shows the marks is out of 80 obtained in history test by a class of 9 learners. So this is the box and a whisker. Now the box and a whisker is drawn for us. Okay, then the question says,
In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening,
we have our question which says, comment on the skewness. Comment on the skewness of the data. How are you going to comment on the skewness? You see that the box here the box is bigger at the left hand side than the right hand side. It's bigger at the left hand side, so we say it's skewed to the left. Alright, if it's skewed to the left, it's the same as negatively skewed. Okay, then write down the range of the marks obtained. Write down the range of the marks. Remember, range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. So our biggest value here is what? 80 minus the smallest value here is what? 20, which gives us 60. Then the next question says, if the learner had to obtain 32 marks to pass the test, estimate the percentage of the class that failed the test. Okay, we want to estimate the percentage of the class that failed the test. Now let me read this again. If the learner had to obtain 32 marks, where is 32? 32 is the first quartile, Q1. Alright, and Q1 is, to calculate Q1 is 1 over 4 times whatever. Alright, by here we are calculating the percentage, so 1 over 4 times 100. So 1 over 4 times 100. So all those people who fall below, that is from here, are the ones that fail. Because if you check this, if the learner had to obtain 32 marks to pass the test, so all those people who are here have failed. These people have passed. So here, estimate the percentage of the class. And this side is 1 over 4. This side is 1 over 2, which is the median. And this side is what? 3 over 4. Alright. So here is going to be 1 over 4 times 100, which is going to give us 25%. Okay. Then the next question, it says, in ascending order, let me use the top. It says, in ascending order, the marks, or the second mark is 28. So the second mark here is 28. The third mark is 36. And the sixth mark is 69. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 69. The 7 and the 8th mark are the same. So 7 and 8, they are the same. The average mark for the test is 54. Okay, what do they want us to do? Let me use here. They want us to fill in the blank space or the remaining learners in ascending order. Fill in the marks of the remaining learners in ascending order. It carries 6 marks. Okay, so we know that this and this are given, this and this, 62, 69 was given. We were also given that y and y7 and 8, 7 and 8 that are the same. So I've placed y and y here. How did we get this 20? How did we get this 80? I'm going to show you. The minimum value was 20. Check the box and the whisker given to us. The minimum value is what? 20. The maximum value is what? 80. Are we together? So we have filled this side, that side. This side was given to us. Then our median, we also found our median to be 62. Now let's check the median. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The middle number is this one. So this side is going to be 62, which is the median. Alright. Even though the Q1 first quarter was given to us, Q2 was given to, Q3 was given to us, we don't know them. So we need to find a way to find it here, to fill it here. is going to help us to fill it here. So what is our median? 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. So our median is 62. Okay, now if I divide this one into 2, this is our median. If I divide this one into 2, our Q1 is going to be in between this, because it counts 1 2 1 2 is going to be in between this one, but we are not finding that one here. It means our Q2, our Q3 is also going to be 1 2 1 2 is also going to be in between this one. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to find Q3. So Q3 is going to be y plus y over 2, because it's in between this 2.
You do it in the morning, you do it in the...
Y plus y over 2 is equals to what? 75. How did we get a 75? It was given here that Q3 is what? 75. Then we can easily find y. Let's find y. So if I transpose the 2, remember y plus y is what? 2y. So we have our 2y here. Then if I transpose this 2 is divided, if I transpose, is going to what? Multiply. So this is going to multiply. So 75 times 2 is going to be 150. Divide both sides by 2. If I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to get 75. So it means y is 75. This side is 75. This side is also what? 75. It's left with T for term 4, or yeah, it's left with term 4. 1 2 3 4. It's left with term 4, which we need to find, because the question says fill in the remaining space. How are you going to find that one? Remember, we're given average.
If God say he go do one for you.
That's an information given here, which says the average was given to us in the question here. So let's get that one in the question. It says the average mark for the test, the average mark for this test is 54. So it means we need to calculate the average. To calculate the average is the same as finding the mean. Alright, so it means you add all of them and you divide it by 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Divide it by 9. So let's add all of them and see. If I add, I'm going to have 20 plus 28 plus 36 plus 62 plus 69 plus 75 plus 75 plus 80, and this one gives us 445 plus t. Remember, we must include this t4. So plus t4 divided by what? 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So divided by 5 and divided by 9, and should be equal to what? 54. Okay, then this is divided. If we transpose, it's going to what? Multiply. So if I multiply that, I'm going to get 486. That is 54 times 9, 486. Then transpose this 445 to this side, so it's going to be minus 445, and T4 is going to be 41. So it means if I fill that side for T4, our T4 is going to be 41. So let's fill in the space. if you fill in the space for that, this side is going to be what? 41. Okay. Now our next question. Mrs. Smith has 2 classes, each having 30 learners. Their final mark out of 100 for the year are represented in the box and a whisker below. So we have another box and a whisker. This time you are not drawing, they've drawn it for you and they are asking question on it. What is the first question? Let's look at the question here. Determine the interquartile range of class B. Where is class B? This is class B. Interquartile range, we know interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. What is our Q3? This is our Q3. So it's going to be 72 minus our Q1 is what? 51. Okay. And this gives us 21. Then the next one, explain the significance in the difference of the length of the boxes in the diagram. Length of the boxes in the diagram. So this one, what are we going to get? Length of the boxes in the diagram. It says explain the significant difference in explain the significance in the difference of the length of the boxes in the diagram. So what we can say is, although the box contains the same number of data points, the marks for A are more widely spread. If you check, this is widely spread. You see that this one extends to this. The data points are the same. They all end at the same from minimum. Minimum is the same, maximum is the same. But this one is more spread. This one extend. The box for this one extend. The Q1 is the same, but the Q3 they are not the same. The one for A spread more. Alright, it's widely spread than B. Okay, so let's look at 3.3. Mrs. Smith studied the results and made comments that there was no significant difference in the performance of the 2 classes. Give 2 reasons you think Mrs. Smith will use to prove her statement. Okay. Now the medians are the same. The median is the same. The ranges are the same, because if you want to find the range for this, it's 90 minus 45. The minimum and the maximum are also the same. The minimum is 45, maximum 45. Maximum 90. All of them are the same. Let's look at example 4. For example 4, monthly profits in rand, in thousands of rand. So all these ones are in thousands of rand. Alright, made by a company in a year is given in the table below. So this one is 110,000, 112,000, like that. Okay, what is the question? The question says, calculate the mean profit of the year. Mean profit of the year. So how do we calculate the mean? I told you it's the same, you no waste time there. You add all of them. If I add all of this, I'm going to get 2,283 divided by what? 12. How did you get a 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, that is one way of doing it. And I told you that if it is given this way, most of the time they tell you to find a standard deviation. So what you need to do is you use this second method that I showed you, where you input all the data into the calculator. So the first thing we need to do for us to input the data, clear the calculator. So shift clear 3. So I've cleared all the calculator. Then we move to setup. Then where do we go? Variant. Where is variant? Okay, let's move to setup. Then we move to start. Start is what? 3. Then you move to variant. Variant is what? 1. Then I'm going to put all this data there, which is 110, 171, 112, 176, 156, 192, 164, 228, 167, 278, 169, 360. When you are done, you press the hot AC, then shift, start. What are we looking for? Variant. Variant is what? 4. We want what? Mean, because the question says mean profit. So mean, this is the symbol, which is 2 equal. So this gives us what? 190,25. So we have 190,25. Then the next one is median profit of the year. How do you find the median profit? The median is the middle number. So if you check here, from here to this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it means the median falls in between 169 and 171. So since it falls in between, you add it and divide it by 2. So 169 plus 171 divided by 2, this gives us what? 170. Then the next one, draw a box and a whisker diagram to represent the data. A box and a whisker diagram to represent the data. So here we have our box and a whisker diagram to represent the data. To do this one, we have this one there. We need to calculate Q1. How did we calculate Q1? We know the median falls in between 169 and 171. So to find Q1, you divide this side also into 2. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it falls in between this. So it's going to be 156 plus 164 divided by 2. That is Q1. This gives us 160. We already have Q2, so we need to find Q3. So Q3 also, you have to divide this side also into 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it falls here. So 192 plus 228 over 2. This gives us 210. So to draw the box and a whisker, we have our Q1, our minimum value. Remember, our minimum value is the smallest value, which is 110 for this, and our Q1 is 160. We calculated Q1 to be 160. Let me show you. Our Q1 is 160. It will be in the box. Then our Q2 was 70. We calculated Q2 also to be 170. Remember, Q2 is the same as what? Median. So this is Q2 is the same as what? Median. Okay. Then, so our Q2 is 170 and our Q3 is 210. We calculated it to be 210. And our maximum value is 360. What is our maximum value? 360. We have drawn our box and a whisker diagram. Then the question says, hence determine the interquartile range of the data. To determine the interquartile range of the data is the Q3 minus Q1. So we use Q3 and Q1. So Q3 minus Q1. What is our Q3? We already know our Q3 to be 210 minus Q1, which is 160. And this is going to give us 50. Then the next question says, comment on the skewness in the distribution. Comment on the skewness in the distribution of the data. Skewness, whether it's skewed to the left or skewed to the right. So if you check this one, the box is bigger at the right hand side. It's bigger at the right hand side. So it's skewed to the what? Right. And skewed to the right is the same as positively skewed. So this is skewed to the right. The box is bigger at the right hand side. So it's skewed to the right. Okay. Then our next question says, for a given data, calculate the standard deviation. For the given data, calculate the standard deviation. Okay, let's see how we are going to do that. To calculate the standard deviation, how did we get this? Remember the information. We have already put this information in our calculator. Which information are we talking about here? The data given to us. This data, we have already inputted into our calculator. Né? So here, you don't have to delete anything. You just press the AC, go to shift, go to 1, then variance is 4, standard deviation is this symbol. So you press 3, equal. So this is going to give us 67,041, etc. But it's in thousand. Or okay, so you move the comma to the right 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 1,670,67,041 rand 19 cents. Because this is 8, the comma will be here, so it's going to be 187. Ne? So it's supposed to be in 2 decimal places. This 7 is more than 4, so you add 1 to this one to be 19. Then the next question says, determine the number of months in which the profit was less than 1 standard deviation. The profit was less than, you see the first question, it was more than, this time it's less than. So if it is less than, it's going to be mean minus the standard deviation. And our mean, we calculated our mean in the first question to be 190,25, and our standard deviation, we also calculated it to be 67,04. Let me show you. Remember, we calculated the mean is this one, and we also calculated the standard deviation. We calculated our standard deviation to be this one. This was our standard deviation. So since it says it must be below the mean, what are we going to do? Subtract. So if I subtract, I'm going to get this 1,000 rand, and it's going to be 2 months. How did we get it 2 months? Go to the table.
My God is great. He has done it for me.
Where is our table? This is our table. If you go to the table, the numbers that are less than 1, 2, 3, because the question says below standard deviation, determine the number of months in which the profit is less. It's less. It doesn't say more. It's less, so it's going to be below. Okay, so it's less than 1 standard deviation below the mean. So if you find the numbers in the data that are less than 123,21, so if you check here, 110 is less than, so 112 is also less than, so it's 156 is more, so we can't pick this, so it's going to be only 2, 1 2. So we are going to have, for 2 months the profit was less than 1 standard deviation below the mean, so it's going to be only 2 months. Okay, so this is where we say bye bye. I wish you all the best. Bye.